in the building. Let's go. We 1-0 at home. I'm hyped up. Let me calm down. I am Bry. This is Eagles Real Talk. I am the flyest covering the Eagles in the game, and we are the flyest in the NFL. We just taking care of business. I'm so impressed with this team. We're going to get into it. We're going to get into the whole game, the nitty gritty. But before we do, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Show me how you feel in the comments about this W that we just ate. Like, Jameis Winston. We just devoured the Vikings. It feels so good. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Hurts. Let's just give him the contract. You know what I mean? Let's give this man a contract. He gets it done. He's poised, okay? He has everything above the shoulders. He's got the good head on his shoulders. You know what I mean? He can run, he can dazzle, and he can make all the plays. Tyrell G, go Birds, baby. He can make all the plays on the field. Like I was saying last year, we just need to give this man some time. We just need to give him some time, and he's here. He has arrived. You know what I mean? He flew in like an eagle, landed at the link, delivered a W. Man, it feels so good. It feels so good to know that, the people that stuck with Hurts, that said, hey, just give him some time. Give him some time. Let's not give up on him. We see the flashes. We see what he can do. If anything, let's get straight into the game. All right, we're going to get back to Hurts. We'll double back to Hurts. Welcome everybody, in the chat. Definitely let me know how you feel about today's game, and I'll mix in with you guys in the chat. But, today was a great W for the Eagles. Let's go over some stats. But before we get into the stats, what's going on with the Eagles offensive line tonight? I mean, it was like they were either amazing or dumb, just making dumb mistakes. Not really like them to do that. Stout, the best offensive line coordinator in the NFL by far, maybe history. He needs to get on their ass starting Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, whatever day they go to practice. The next time they practice, Stout better be on their ass, man, because I didn't like what I saw tonight with those penalties. It erased quite a few positive plays for us, including a couple first downs, maybe 3 first downs. So Stout has got to get that cleaned up. The fact that we had 3 penalties, that wiped away first down. Like, we could have had more points on the board. We probably could have scored 30-something. We left some points, and we didn't really go too hard. Alcabir, I see you, my guy. It is facts. The offensive line just was... That was my only takeaway, my bad takeaway from tonight. The defense, superb, okay? Superb. We're going to get into it, but the offensive line, they have to come with the next game. They have to do better than what they did this game. I was quite disappointed at times, but with that said, I was also encouraged. Sanders is running like a bull. He's running different this year. If you notice, as soon as he gets that ball, he's attacking. He's not looking to bounce it on the outside. He's not looking to be fancy. He is taking what the offensive line is giving them as far as the holes go, and he's attacking the hole. He's doing his thing, but he's really attacking that hole. Maybe he's, learned something from Jordan Howard. I don't know what's gotten into him. But 80 yards, I think he had 80 yards on 17 carries. I just thought Sanders took care of business tonight, and I was very positive. As far as him and the offensive line goes. Hurts ran 11 times for 57 yards and 2 tutties. You know what I mean? So, just the offensive line is taking care of business. I just need them to clean up some of the things that they've been, slacking on this year as far as getting downfield too early in the screen game. It's just little things they need to clean up. If we can clean up those tiny things, we could be... I know the Bills are going crazy in the NFC, in the AFC, but we could be one of those type of teams who scores 30-plus a game. I could easily see that. We're going to go over the schedule in a little bit. The schedule is very favorable for the Birds. I was talking a lot of shit, right? If you've been a listener or if you've been watching ERT the channel over the past few months, I've been talking big shit. Like, listen, we're about to actually do work this year. Maybe 14, 15 wins. I think in my first too early prediction, I think I predicted us to go 15-2. Well, they called me crazy. But look at the schedule. Let me pull up the schedule for the Birds, man. Let me pull up this schedule, bro, because, this schedule is looking scary for the NFC as far as us finishing at the top, the tippy. What up, Zay? Good to have you in the chat, bro. Let's get into the schedule real quick before we get more into the game, because I'm excited, a part of what I do, I like to have my stuff, formulated and together. But sometimes on these lives, I just like to go off the cuff, and that's what I'm about to do right now with this schedule. So first of all, we're 2-0. Okay, we play Washington next week, which let's be honest, Washington hasn't looked too bad. Their offense looks pretty potent. They're getting Samuel involved. They're getting the rookie involved, and they got a nice little surrounding cast around Wentz, and Wentz isn't playing too bad. So I'm just gonna acknowledge that and keep it real. This is Eagles real talk. I'm not gonna be one of those guys who poo-poos and downplays another team, just because we don't like that player. Nah. Wentz is doing his thing over there. So that's not going to be as easy of a win, especially since it's on the road. But you know what I'm saying? I have a lot of faith in Hurts. He took care of business there last year. They try to kill him with the stadium falling down and stuff. You know what I mean? So they're not going to be too big of a concern, but they're a little bit better than I thought, and I'll keep it real right there. And then we play Jacksonville at home. So Dougie P, he's going to have his guys amped up that game, but I think he's going to set them up for failure. As much as I love Dougie P and miss old Doug, that's going to be an L for them. So we're starting off 4-0. And then we play Arizona. I'm sorry, that would be 4-0. And then we play Arizona. So a lot of people mark this down as a loss for us. I guess they didn't realize that Hopkins doesn't play until Game 7. And if you've been watching around the league, I'm going to get to you guys' comments in just a second. If you've been watching around the league, he doesn't do too well when Hopkins isn't there. That's obviously his safety blanket. That's obviously his go-to receiver. So without Hopkins, I see that as another W. And then we got Dallas. Dallas is in shambles. Yeah, Cooper Rush is, he's okay. He's a solid backup. I'm gonna keep it real. He's a solid backup. But it's going to be tough sledding when, he flies down to, the link. It's going to be a tough game for Cooper Rush and company, and I see that as a win. So that's 6-0. 6-0, baby. And then after that, we have a bye so we can, heal up, get some rest in, and then we got Pittsburgh at home. That's a W. And then we have at Houston. I'll be at that game. If anybody's going to be at that game, let me know. Let's get a beer. We're going to be at Houston. Week 9, that's a W. So right now, I have us, 8-0? And then we have the Commanders at home. I have that as a W. Then we play Indianapolis, who may be the worst team in the league. That's 10-0. That is 10-0. And then we got Green Bay. If you've seen Green Bay, man, who do they got that scare you? Man, Nicolas Cage, a.k.a. whoever the Rodgers, the Nicolas Cage lookalike, I'm not too scared of him either. He doesn't scare me anymore. He doesn't have Devontae Adams to close his eye, throw the ball up, and get miraculous catches. So I'm not scared of what I've seen from them. They beat the Bears last night, but the Bears are trash, okay? Like, they're freaking trash. So that wasn't no impressive win. They always beat the Bears. And then we have Tennessee. That's going to be A.J. Brown all day. Probably go for 203 touchdowns. That's another win. And then we got New York, at New York, W. We got at Chicago, at Dallas, at New Orleans at home, and then New York. Bro, this, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because anything can happen. You know what I mean? But as the schedule looks back at me right now, I'm seeing nothing but W's, y'all. Tell me, am I wrong? Let me know in the comments. Am I wrong for thinking maybe we can run the whole freaking table? Maybe we can really do. Maybe we can finish 15-2. Maybe we'll drop a game or two. A dumb loss. It happens. Maybe we won't even play our guys the last game of the season against New York because it's not going to mean anything. I promise you, we're going to be the number one seed in the NFC. Can you guys please remember this? The real ones from Real Talk, remember this. Zay, all y'all in the comments, remember. I said it. We're going to run these dudes. We're going to run the NFC East. We're going to run the NFC. And I think, I'm going to say this right now. I tweeted it earlier. If you don't follow me, Eagles Real Talk _ on Twitter. I said, Eagles versus Bills in the Super Bowl. Tell me if I'm wrong in the comments. Let's get to the comments right now. So we got Zay. This season is the most unexpected in my opinion. The Bengals doing bad. Tua doing better than we thought he would. Okay, so I hear you on the Tua thing, but honestly, how could Tua fail? He's got Tyreek, the cheetah, and he's got Waddle. He's got solid tight ends, a solid offensive line, a new coach who's scheming some great plays. You know what I mean? So I'm just gonna be honest. He's not surprising me as much as I thought, he would. He's playing pretty good, but the 6 touchdowns, that's crazy. That's definitely crazy. He almost made me lose my fantasy matchup this week. Thank you, Hurts, by the way, for putting up 40 points, whatever he did tonight. You know what I mean? It was crazy. He brought me back 37 points to win my fantasy game. So salute, Hurts. We're gonna get more into Hurts later. Bro, I've been more proud from my QB, Jalen Hurts, especially dude popped off today. Defense killed it too, but one thing I'd hope they fix is the whole flag situation. Real talk. Other than that, W, of course. And that was Dev in the comments. Thank you, Dev. But yeah, I feel the same way. The defense, honestly, that was one hell of a performance. Justin Jefferson had 185 yards last week. I think he had under 40 today. He just had the clamps put down on him by Slay. Slay could have had 5 interceptions tonight. He was actually there. He was actually Cousins' favorite target tonight. He was 2 for 5 to Slay. If his passes weren't so damn terrible, if he wasn't throwing ducks out there, maybe Slay could have had 4 or 5 picks. So I just think it was a remarkable performance by Slay. I think Slay may honestly be the number 1 corner in the league. Last year, I thought he was top 3. He may honestly be the best corner in the NFL, pound for pound. He's a playmaker. He gets interceptions. He locks up the opponent's number 1. He can do it all, man. He can even run a little offense. Get him in there on offense like last year. Let him run a few plays. Let's throw him a screen pass this year. See what he can do with it. Slay he's a top corner, man, and he's elite. He's elite of elite. He's definitely either 1A, 1B, top 3. You can't leave him out of the top 5 or you're just a hater. You're a Giants fan or a Cowboys fan or something. But Slay really came to play today. He gave Justin Jefferson a lot of respect coming into this game. He said that he watches him a lot, so he knew he was very familiar with what they were gonna do with Justin Jefferson today. And I was just, hat off to my man Slay. He played great. You know what I mean? The defensive line came with the pressure. And whoa, I've almost forgot. We actually blitzed tonight. Jonathan Gannon dialed up. He's like, hey, we gonna blitz tonight, all right? Don't worry. We're gonna blitz. I heard y'all talking shit. I heard y'all dogging me on Twitter. I heard, all the chatter on Philadelphia radio this week. I'm going to dial up the blitz. I'm going to give y'all what y'all want. And if Gannon can scheme it up like how he did tonight, if he can come, with the pressure, if Cox and company can get to the quarterback, this defense is going to be tough because our linebackers are doing work. TJ Edwards was lighting dudes up all game. Kaiser White flying all over the field. I love the linebacker situation. And our corners and safeties are just taking care of business. It's it's very noticeable a difference between last year and this year. And Jonathan Gannon has to continue to utilize the weapons that he has on defense. Let's get back to the comments. Zayro, all I have to say is big play, slay, baby. Let's go. Man, I'm so amped up tonight. I am so amped up. Cheers to everybody in the chat. Cheers to the birds. Fly, Eagles, fly. Let me get this sip real quick. It tastes like victory. You know what I mean? Beer just tastes better after a win. Am I right? Let me know in the comments. Dev wrote, actually, Zay commented, all I see is W's. Yeah, if you look up the schedule, I mean, like I said, I'm gonna name these teams off, and you tell me in the comments if any of these teams like gives you any type of worry, like if they scare you at all. Okay, Washington, Jacksonville, Arizona without Hopkins because he's suspended, Dallas without Dak, and them looking pretty weak on offense, honestly, and their defense isn't really showing me much. They played okay, but the Bengals, honestly, they may freaking suck this year. Honestly, they're having a hangover worse than, my 21st birthday at this point, because, I mean, Jesus, they just look terrible this year. So, Pittsburgh, at Houston, Auto W. Washington again, Indianapolis, who just look terrible, can't even score points. Green Bay, who is obviously not the same. Tennessee, AJ's gonna feast on. I just feel bad for them, honestly. They're just gonna get destroyed by AJ that game. We all know it. We all see it coming a mile away. At New York, at Chicago, Chicago's trash. They have no receivers. I mean, Montgomery, he's a nice running back. Don't get it twisted, but I mean, they can't beat us with just Montgomery, so that's a W. And then we have at Dallas on Christmas Eve, which we're gonna have to deliver them a gift that they'll never forget. They're never gonna forget this ass whooping. Let me tell you. I hope Dak is back by then. I hope he's healthy. I hope their whole team is healthy and ready to go, so they can all be there front row to that ass whooping. Then we got New Orleans, who, I mean, Jameis, they have some nice wide receivers. I mean, they're just not doing it for me. They're a solid team though. Nothing to be scared of. And then we have New York. Show me the loss. I see DBK, WWW. Who is gonna beat us? Healthy, who's gonna beat us? You know what I mean? We have one hell of a roster this year. I think everybody needs to stop talking bad, stop talking reckless about Howie Roseman. He's the best GM in the league. He's proven that. He has proven that at this point. He has assembled a roster like the Avengers, man. You know what I mean? So we can no longer throw shade, salt, anything at this man but besides love. Because he's done this roster, this franchise, a lot of good this offseason, and we have people forget this. Are you guys ready for this? You may have forgot. We have 2 first-round picks in the draft. That means we can move up and get one of those stud defensive linemen and just completely wreck shop next year. I'm getting way too far ahead of myself, but it is what it is. We got 2 first-round picks. And Howie looks like he got, he got his shit together as far as drafting the right players. He's not trying to be the smartest guy in the room anymore. He's just going out there and picking the guys that we need, not who he thinks we need or projecting too far in the future. He's going out there and taking care of business. So back to the comments. DBK, that Vikings-Packer game was a fluke. Dev wrote, Gannon may have proved himself tonight, but I just hope he keeps it this way. I hope so too, man. I hope so too. It's obviously a long season. We have 15 games to go. It's a lot of games to go, but I think last week was an eye-opener for Gannon. I think Gannon, he was thinking, oh, we whooped them last year, referring to the Lions. Let's just go out there and I'm going to do what I did last year and we're going to take care of business. We have better linebackers. No, that didn't work. That scheme last year was softer than baby shit, okay? I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand it last year. We were literally the softest team in the league. at times. I'm not saying personnel wise, but scheme. We really were. And that Charmin, softest Charmin approach isn't cutting it for Philly. We're a hard nosed. We used to have Dawkins lead the squad, man. We had to get back to that hard nosed football, letting our elite players like Slay do work on the outside, follow the best receiver on the other team. Let's just dominate. Let's not leave it up to chance. And last year, he left it up for chance too much. And this week, he did not. First week, he did. So he's 50-50 as far as I'm concerned. The jury's still out on him. But maybe he turned a corner. Maybe Nick Sirianni got on his ass this week, was like, hey, bruh, listen, man. That shit that we did last week against the Lions and last year against the Bucks in the playoffs and all the other L's we took last year that we shouldn't have, it's not going to fly this year. Have our guys ready to play this year, dial up some blitzes and go ham on the Vikings this week. Cousins obviously doesn't like pressure. I think he was like 2 for 12, 2 for 10, something like that, with 2 interceptions every time we blitz. So that, we have the linebackers, we have the back end as far as the safeties and the corners to do those blitzes up front because we're protected in the back. So maybe tonight was an eye-opening experience for Gannon, and he's going to dial up some more blitzes. It was a complete game for our Eagles, but more room to grow. DBK, I agree with you, my friend. I agree with you. Obviously, the football gods were shining down on us tonight, but next week is another week. Obviously, Wentz is going to rip. Wentz could lose every game this year, but if he beats us, he will be happy. So we're not going to allow that. And I hope Jonathan Gannon understands exactly how much that game means to Wentz, to the Eagles, to everybody involved, because Gannon wasn't here during the Wentz regime. You know what I mean? So he may not feel that as much. So maybe the other guys, BG, Cox, other guys that were here during that time, they can let Jonathan Gannon know, hey, this is a must win. This isn't, one of those. This is a must win. We got to treat this like a playoff game. So we have to go in there and take care of business against Wentz, and I think we will. Dev wrote, been with Hurts since day one. Salute. I know for a fact he's our franchise quarterback. Enough said. I agree with you, my brother. I agree with you. He's definitely living up to the flashes that he showed last year. This year, he's been damn near flawless. He had that one interception today, but can we be real? That was a drop. That wasn't on him. That was Gainwell. He's got to catch that ball. Maybe he's throwing into a crowd and whatnot, but that doesn't mean that it should be an interception. It hit Gainwell right in the hands, and if Gainwell's going to be dropping passes, he can sit, and we can put Boston Scott in there, period, because everyone was on point but him today. That really irked me that he dropped that pass and cost our quarterback an interception. DBK, laugh out loud. My girl tells me Hurts is a ball hog. Laugh out loud. Told her so was Kobe, as she loves Kobe. Hey, Mamba mentality, bruh. Kobe, I'm an Eagles fan through and through, but when it comes to Kobe, he's the best player of all time in my eyes, and nobody can tell me different. So if he's compared to Kobe, that's a good thing. Mama mentality. DBK, my brother's a Vikings fan, and he was quiet all night. I have one of my friends, Jeff, who owes me some money after tonight. He was pretty quiet, but he said he was expecting an L tonight. So I'm not gonna shit on him too much, but skull. You know what I mean? Whatever that means. Sorry, buddy, but y'all took the L tonight, and it kind of reminded me of us en route to a Super Bowl. Back in the day. What was that? 38-7. What was tonight? 24-7. Seems like they like that number 7 whenever they whenever they fly to Philly. Dev wrote, Hurts got us to the playoffs in his second year, which was technically his rookie year. That's talent, Very few rookie quarterbacks have that talent, that mentality. You feel me? I definitely feel you. I feel you, bro. I think people kind of were poo-pooing, Hurts after that performance. A lot of people were high. It was kind of like one of those up and down teeter-totter kind of years for Hurts as far as like Eagles fans go. I think the real ones seen what he was capable of and just knew he needed maybe one more year to establish himself, get in the off season and right his wrongs as far as, his inefficiencies as a quarterback. And I mean, what was he tonight? Let's talk about Hurts, man. Let's talk about Hurts. I believe he threw for no touchdowns tonight. Hurts was on point, man. We gotta give Hurts his flowers. Oh, actually, he did have one touchdown, 333 passing yards. His completion percentage was 83.9. You know what I mean? His QBR was 78.3. He took care of business, man. That one, like I said, that one interception wasn't even on him, so I'm just gonna erase that from my mind after tonight. He had an incredible game, man. The Eagles really took care of business tonight, and I think it starts with Nick Sirianni. Let's fall back on the players now, and let's go to Nick Sirianni, the head coach. Nick Sirianni, I think he's underrated, man. I think he's a leader of men. Yeah, he may not be the most, technical or the most, offensive savvy coach in the NFL, but he's a guy who gets his players to buy in, and they have bought in. They pushed all their chips in, and they're all in for the season under Nick Sirianni. And we'll talk about that more later on this week because I want to do a whole video on Nick Sirianni, Jonathan Gannon, and the special teams coordinator who I want out of here. All right, the experiment with this young guy. I think we're the same age, man. I mean, this guy is, he's a young guy. They try to give him a chance, but he definitely doesn't get the special teams players going. They just have no fire. I'm through with him as the special teams coordinator, and I think we need to completely revamp the special teams this offseason. Obviously, we have to get through it this year, but maybe we can make a trade for a playmaker, a punt returner, kick returner that can be electric. Because let's be honest, Covey isn't it. He's not it. We would love for him to be it, but he's not it. He just doesn't have that flair. He doesn't have the speed. He looks kind of small out there. He's just not impressing me. He's really not. But let's get back to Hurts, man. That 53-yard, I think it was 53-yard touchdown to Quez. Quez was unlocked today. I think that was something that we didn't do last week. Look to Quez enough. Quez, he's got speed, man. He may not be the fastest player in the league, but he's top 5. He may be right behind the Cheetah, and I think we have to scheme him a little bit more because he's electric out there. The other wide receivers, Devontae Smith. You see the jersey, number slim 6. He came to play today. You know what I mean? He came to play. I think last week was obviously a fluke. He had no catches. He had one that got called back because of a penalty on Mailata. But regardless, he had one drop and a couple other passes. He wasn't able to connect. But I knew this week he was going to have a big game. And he had 80 yards on 7 receptions. So great bounce back game for Smith. Very proud of him. I knew that last week was a fluke, and this week he caught 7 for 7 of his targets. So great job for Devontae. He's proven he's going to be a great number 2 alongside of AJ Brown. And some games they're going to be 1A, 1B, and today was one of those games. Speaking of AJ, he had a more modest game. I think the objective today was to spread it out because Goddard had 5 receptions for 82 yards on 6 targets. He was just killing them out there. Dallas Goedert, he's a top 3 tight end, and we just need to start acknowledging it that he's moving up the ladder, and he's gonna be an X factor for us this year, because I think a lot of teams that aren't too familiar with the birds as we are as fans don't really know what he's capable of, but they're gonna know this year. After this year, they're gonna know. Watkins, like I said, he had the 53-yard touchdown today. It was great to see that, but he only had 2 targets. I need to see him more involved. He's got the speed. He's a pretty solid route runner. Let's unlock him a little bit more as the season goes. But he finished with 69 yards, and A.J. Brown finished with 69 as well. Pascal had 2 targets, 2 catches. All of his targets and catches so far, even last game, they've been critical catches. I like him on 3rd down. I like what he brings to the table as far as being that guy that can run block and do the dirty work. He's done great at that. Hold on, let me plug back in my mic. Sorry about that. Difficulties. I guess that was like Kenny Gainwell when he dropped that pass for an interception today. Gainwell, I'm pissed off at you, man. Hurts was having a perfect game until that drop. I'll let it go though. And Boston Scott also had a 1 catch. Sanders had a few catches. He only had 6 yards though. So I thought it was a great game plan by the offensive coordinator, Steichen. He spread the ball around, and I feel like we were a little bit more efficient than just going to AJ Brown every single time. As much as I would love to have AJ Brown have 100+ yards every game, some games isn't going to be like that. So he's over 200 yards for the season already. He's doing great, and I think mixing everybody up in the game plan was the right thing to do, especially home. Let's get everybody going. Let's get everybody feeling good. We got the Commanders next week, first NFC East game of the season. We need to get everybody involved, and they did that. Let me get back to the comments. So let's see. Dev wrote, also, don't even get me started on the ankle breaks in the Saints game and the Lions game last year. Lava Loud dude was a beast. I mean, if you know that ankle breaker on the Saints, I've probably played it 1,000 times and it never gets old. He did one of those today too, where he stomps hard on one foot and then breaks in. You know what I mean? That's obviously his little special move, and he definitely threw that in there tonight. And it was good to see him, continue to break ankles. DBK wrote, need to get more jerseys. Brown, Smith, Hurts. I know I need to get. I got my Brown. I'll be rocking that soon. I need to get a Hurts. I got 2 Devontaes. I got a few Vicks. I got quite a few. I got McCoy. I got quite a few jerseys, but I need to get a defensive jersey. I don't have any defensive players, so that's one thing that I need to add to my personal list. Let me know in the comments, who do you think I should get? I'm thinking Jordan Davis. Big number 90. I like how that jersey looks. So let me know who I should get as far as my next jersey goes. Covey didn't do it for me tonight. He hasn't done it. What did he do in preseason? I'll wait. Nothing. He didn't do anything in game 1. He's been given opportunities. He's just not the one. It would be lovely for this team to make a play via trade for an available punt returner on another team. Give up a pick, whatever. If we can add that X factor to this team, and we can make this special teams special like they're supposed to be, because right now they're anything but special. If we can actually make the special team special, this team we can go far, man. Because if you go back and look at the 2017 flip, he had that special teams humming, man. They were taking care of business all year. So I'd love for us to make a play for someone via trade before the deadline. Zayro Rager was clamped up. When is he not? I mean, he pretty much clamps up himself, right? He's one of those guys, he puts himself in shackles. He's got no moves. He's got no speed. Terrible pick. We all know, but I'm over that. We got a hell of a roster. I'm not even going to get into the Howie hate, but obviously, Rager's not it. He's not going to be in the NFL for much longer. I think we could all agree on that. He just doesn't have it. Some guys, they get into the NFL and they just don't have it. It's just like when you get a new job and it's just not working out for you, and you either get fired or you find a new job. Well, that's pretty much Rager in the NFL. God bless him. He's faced a lot of diversity with deaths in his family, homies dying, and he's been put up against it, but at the end of the day, we got to put the personal stuff aside. I'm a fan of the Eagles. He's no longer an Eagle. Good riddance. Sorry, buddy. You won't be in the NFL much longer. Rager, Dev wrote 4.3 speed with Quez. Oh, yeah. That man can fly. He's on the right team because he can fly, eagle, fly up and down that field. DBK, Rager sucks no matter what team he's on. LOL. I agree with you. I agree with you. Drew Johnson, yo, what's up, my guy? Thank you for joining the chat. Go Birds. Dev wrote, bro, that stomp that hurts do be nasty as F. Really need to see more from him. I think he's going to continue to keep that in his repertoire, his bag of tricks. Obviously they fall for that. He goes hard right, stomps that foot in the ground, plants it, turns left. It's just in an instant. You know what I mean? It's very fast. Zay put go Birds, fly Eagles, fly, baby. We in the building. I think tomorrow, when you turn on all the morning sports shows, First Take, Undisputed, NFL Channel, Good Morning Football, I think they're gonna be changing their tune if they were against the Birds going into the season, thinking the Cowboys or someone was gonna run the NFC East, because I'm looking past the NFC East already. We're far superior than anyone in the NFC East. I'm thinking we're the best team in the NFC, period. Let me know if you agree in the comments. I already went through the schedule. Our schedule is weak as hell. We got nobody that really scares me. So I'm very excited. I'm very pro 14 wins on the season. I originally said 15-2. My very early prediction a couple months ago, I went down to 13 games. I think at the start of the season, I had us going 13-4. But now I'm back to 14 wins, man. I think we got the goods. We're going to have the number one seed. Remember, ERT, Eagles Real Talk, said it first. I said we were going 15-2. I was on other channels. They told me I was crazy. Bro, what are you talking about? Hurts. Cry me a river, bruh. Now look at us. 2-0. Ceiling is 17. I agree with you, Zay. Floor is 12-5, and that's if we just God forbid we have some bad luck. But I think it's just one of those years. I think it could be our year. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Drew Johnson, that hurts. Jerk crossover is killer. Yeah, I don't know if he was a fan of Allen Iverson, but man, it's a killer crossover type of move. I was just watching that And One documentary on Netflix, which I definitely recommend. If you were a kid like me that used to love watching those And One mixtapes, man, it brought back a lot of nostalgia. So if you haven't seen it, definitely check that out. But yeah, maybe he's been watching it because damn, he's been breaking ankles for 2 seasons now. I don't think people even give him enough credit. Like, dude's got hella highlights, and he's only this is only his second year starting, and he's been breaking ankles so much. Like, I don't think people give this man his flowers, but it don't matter. We're gonna give him his flowers at the parade, so don't even trip. Zay put go Birds. Slay is Justin Jefferson's dad. You know what? And you know what? If they're not flying back to Minnesota tonight, Slay may have to tuck him in his hotel room, give him some milk on his nightstand because, man, he just dogged him out tonight. It was just a Slay. I hope that's just a little minor injury. Oh, can we talk about the injury also? So I don't know what happened, whether it was a knee, ankle, quad, whatever, but he was, limping a little bit late in the fourth, and there was a sub. There was another player coming in, I think Zach McPherson or somebody. He waved him off, said, nah, I got this, bruh. Trust me, I got this. Came up with the pick that play. Big play Slay. That's what he does. He didn't back down all game. He kept pushing, kept moving forward, and he came up with big play after big play. If he didn't get the interception, he was batting it away. So big play Slay definitely deserves the game ball in my opinion, even though Hurts, well, they can share the game ball, but I think Slay just was the main reason we won the game because we seen what Justin Jefferson did last week. We seen what he's capable of. And we put him in clamps. We put him in clamps, and Slay was the main reason we did it. Back to the comments. Johnny Backen, bro, what the hell was Kirk doing? Laugh my ass off. You know what? I'll tell you what Kirk was doing. He was like, in his mind entering the game, he's like, I know these primetime games I don't seem to play well, but I do play good against the Birds. I do play good against the Eagles. I'm 6-3 against the Eagles. I'm going to go out there and do what I do. And he was wrong. He was wrong. The Vikings faithful obviously didn't get the memo that we were going to be putting the clamps out on his receivers all game. We were going to put a little bit more pressure on him tonight, and he just wasn't ready for it. Kirk Cousins, he's a little guy out there sometimes. He can kind of shrink, he can kind of shrink under the big bright lights, like this light that I have in front of me that's very bright in my face. He shrinks under those lights. And, that's what he did tonight. And I expected it to some extent because I just didn't feel like they had the offense and the run game that people thought they have. Dalvin Cook is kind of cooked, in my opinion. He's not really... what did he show you tonight that is that put fear into you coming into the game? Even though we let Swift run all over us last week, yes, Swift was, he was swift out there. But this week, nah, we weren't going to let that happen again. And like I said earlier, Jonathan Gannon, he definitely put the game plan together. Him and Nick Sirianni collaborated throughout the week, and we came with a winning mentality, and we took care of business today. Zay wrote, I think it was a feat. Yeah, it was Zach McPherson, and I got almost a pick and then picked it. He did. Oh, Zach McPherson did drop an interception. That was kind of disappointing. That would have been kind of cool if Slay checks out and then Zach McPherson still picks off Kirk Cousins. That would have been hilarious. So, yeah, he should have came down with that. Nicholas Swint in the comments. Chargers fan here. Enjoy your channel. Hey, appreciate you, man. I think the Chargers got a pretty good squad. Herbert's gonna be out this week, I heard. So maybe we'll see y'all in the championship. Not the championship, the Super Bowl. Never know. But hey, thank you for tuning in as a Chargers fan. I appreciate the support, brother. You also wrote, I don't get what the Vikings see in Kirk Cousins. They must see a lot because they keep guaranteeing his contract. They keep, I think he's one of those quarterbacks who's right in the middle of the 32 quarterbacks, and his ceiling and his floor, he's right there. He's never going to go up to the next story. He's never going to go down to the basement. He's going to stay flat all his career. He's never going to give you more than what he's shown, and he's never going to go too much lower than what his worst game, maybe tonight, so I think they put a lot of stock in Kirk because he's safe. He's like that one boyfriend that is safe, that the hot girl dates, and she just doesn't want to get her heart broke because she's been dating a whole bunch of trash and guys that cheat on her and stuff. So she just settles with, kind of the guy who's kind of bland and boring, but he's safe, and she knows that he's gonna stick around and not dog her out. That's kind of what Kirk Cousins is, if I can, give an example. Johnny back and wrote, I'm a Vikings fan. Kirk was just forcing in. The Eagles defense was really good. I agree with you, my friend. Our defense was really good. Thank you, by the way, as a Vikings fan, for sticking around and keeping up with the channel as far as this video goes. I appreciate that, brother. You also wrote, Kirk is like 12 in QBs in my opinion. I think he falls anywhere from like 12 to 18. He's in that range. I would probably put him at like 15 or 16 myself, but as a Vikings fan, you've seen him at his best, so I'll let you have that, brother. Nicholas Swint sounds like Ryan Tannehill. Yeah, he's kind of like a Ryan Tannehill. I would put them kind of in that same category. Tannehill, he may put up some good numbers. He may throw some really good passes during the regular season. He'll get you to the playoffs, but he's not going to get you to the bowl. He's not going to get you too far. He has a low ceiling. So I agree with you. Let's get straight into the defense today. Who had the most tackles? Who led the team in tackles? There's no surprise. There's no surprise that it's TJ Edwards with 7 solo tackles. TJ Edwards is an underrated Eagle. I think he's an underrated linebacker in the NFL. He's pretty good in pass coverage. He lays the wood as far as hits go. He's always around the ball. And he had a total of 10 tackles today. Maddox had 4 solo tackles, 10 total tackles. I thought he was flying around the field today. Came up with an interception. Maddox is a great slot corner. Possibly the best slot corner in the league. I don't know. Maybe that's just a homer, a bias of me to say that, but he's one of the better slot corners in the league, and that's for sure. Epps laid some hard hits tonight. Epps is exactly who I thought he was. He's a hard-hitting safety who goes out there and puts on his hard hat, a.k.a. his helmet, which is to my left. And he goes out there and takes care of business. He lays hard hits. He doesn't get beat deep. And I think he's a damn good football player. Epps is that. I may get an Epps jersey. One of my favorite numbers is 22, so I think I may get an Epps jersey. Gardner, CJ had a great game today too. He had 4 solo tackles himself. Kaiser White, 2 tackles. Josh Sweat, 3 tackles and a sack. Fletcher Cox, 1 sack. I think our defensive line definitely bounced back. I would have loved to see a little bit more sacks from them, but Kirk Cousins is one of those guys who he would rather get rid of it, throw an interception than take a sack. Let's be real. He's one of those type of quarterbacks, and today that kind of bit him in the butt. He threw a couple up there like, I don't care who's over there, I'm just going to let go of it. And honestly, we could have had more. He could have threw 5 interceptions tonight. Let's be honest. So the pressure was getting to him. He didn't like people in his face swatting at him, like a fly, and he wasn't good tonight. He just wasn't good. What was Kirk Cousins' numbers? Let's get into the Kirk Cousins. 27 for 46, 221 yards, 1 touchdown, and 3 interceptions. His QBR was 17.5. Sheesh. Ugh. Ooh. Ugh. Man, that's pretty bad. Let's get back to the comments. Nicholas Swint, last season, I was at the Chargers game in Philly, had a fun time. Philly is a city. I'll definitely be back soon for a Padres and a Lakers game. That's what's up, brother. That's what's up. Man, that was a good game. We almost had y'all last year. That was actually a really good game. I feel like if we could have beat you guys, maybe that could have propelled us to having a better record. Obviously a better record, but possibly giving us more confidence going forward last year. But yeah, congratulations on that that game. You chose a good game to go to. Philly is always going to have, a rowdy crowd. It's always going to be a fun game. So, that I'm happy for you that you got to go to that game, brother. Nicholas Swint also wrote, Kaiser White, I was sad when my Chargers let him go. Why did y'all let him go? You let me know in the comments. I don't understand. He had hella tackles last year for y'all, a couple interceptions. He was bona fide y'all best tackler, I think, last year. I mean, I don't understand why you guys let him go. I mean, is your owner cheap? Y'all didn't have the money. I mean, what was it that you guys let him slip? Either way, I'm glad he's a bird. I'm glad he's flying in Philly now. So, thank you. But why did you guys let him go? I want to hear a fan's perspective on that. It didn't make much sense. Did your mic just change or go? I don't know. Let me know. Did the mic, how do I? Testing. How do I sound on the mic? This mic has been a little slippery lately. I may have to get a new mic, but let me know if the mic is doing better. Nicholas Swint wrote, typical Chargers move is referring to Kaiser White. Yeah, it's unfortunate you guys lost him, but like I said, your loss, our benefit. It's good now. Thank you, Johnny. Appreciate y'all for holding it down in the comments, by the way. It's been fun chatting it up with y'all. I was looking forward to getting on. I just knew we were gonna win tonight. It was just one, sometimes as a fan and as a guy who covers the team, sometimes I kind of know what's gonna happen. Obviously it's always a little different, but I kind of had that feeling that we were going to take care of business today. So I couldn't wait to jump on and get live with y'all and talk a little shit. By the way, cheers, go Birds, baby. This one's for y'all. It was a good night tonight. I don't know if you guys are in some group chats, in your personal group chats with your friends and your homies, but man, mine was live tonight. My chat was lit. You know what I mean? Obviously, I was talking my ish. I had a Ravens fan. He was like, "Man, I'm looking at your guys' schedule, and I think you guys may go 17-0." And as a Ravens fan, he's actually my best friend. For him to say that, it's crazy. I think people are gonna start buying in after tonight because some people, had us taking an L. Those people were wrong, obviously. But in the national media, not the new media, which I consider myself, the national media and pundits, the ABCs, the ESPNs, the Fox Sports outlets of the world, you know what I mean? They were doubting us this year. They were saying we couldn't contain Justin Jefferson. They said, our defense wasn't up to par, wasn't ready for this matchup. And guess what happened? All I know is I can't wait to hear what Skip got to say in the morning. That's gonna be some good laughs. I think nationally this was one of those games. Usually, if you have a big win on a primetime game like a Monday night football game, a Sunday night football game, that can kind of wake up some of the national media. And I think they were like, "Oh shit! Oh, we were sleeping on the Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly." You're gonna see a lot of people change their tune this week as far as the national media goes. Johnny Backen wrote 38-7 flashbacks were coming back. Oh man, they were flooding in for me. I was just like, man, I just remember that game, man. God, man, that was such a good game. That after that game, I just knew we were gonna win the bowl. It didn't matter who we were playing up against. An all Madden team, Patriots, the GOAT, whoever. We were gonna win the Super Bowl that year, and we did. And yeah, man, it was I had some good flashbacks tonight as well. Appreciate you for bringing that up. It was definitely a good night to be a Birds fan. Johnny back and wrote, Eagles got an easy schedule. We sure do. Do I have to go through it one more time? Do I have to? Man, I mean, we got the Commanders, we got Titans, we got sorry ass Colts, bum ass Cowboys. We got a lot of easy games ahead of us. We got the Giants they're foosball. They're 2-0. Yay, you guys beat the Panthers. I mean, come on now. So I think honestly, We're gonna sweep the division. We're just gonna completely win the division outright. It's not gonna be no debates, and I think we're gonna finish on top of the NFC East. I mean the NFC in general. I think we have the best team in the NFC East. Let me know in the comments who is a better team than the Eagles in the NFC. Let me know right now if there's anybody. If there's nobody, say nobody. If there is a team that you think can, give us some trouble, let me know. I mean, maybe the Bucks. I can see the Bucks giving us a little trouble because we had a hard time with them last year, and they do have Tom Brady. But they got some injuries right now. Maybe they're not as good as last year. Who knows? But as of right now, we've looked better than them. All you can go off is the tape, and the tape shows that the birds are flying high, very high. We're soaring actually. And we play the Commanders, which I think we're going to start 3-0. And I think we're going to start 6-0, 8-0. I don't have us losing a game until I don't know when. Obviously it's a week-to-week league. It's a game of inches, and anything can change. But as of right now, I have us going 6-0. Let me know in the comments how you guys feel about that. Nicholas Swint, bro, we are the same franchise who let go of Junior Seau and Rodney Harrison. Our owner is definitely a head-scratching type of owner. So what part of Philly are you in? I got fam in Cherry Hill and Jersey. I'm actually not in Philly. I'm a California resident. I'm definitely looking forward to going to Philly this year, hopefully in the fall. I'm trying to catch a game in the fall or winter, but I'm not from Philly. Cali born and raised. Nicholas Swint. Oh no, I'm sorry. Johnny back and wrote the Bucks, but my Vikings bias says the Vikings and Eagles are equal. Well, I would beg to differ, but yeah, I would say the Bucks are probably the Eagles' hardest opponent if we were to face them in the playoffs. But obviously, if we're rolling and we're just steamrolling teams like how we did tonight, and we continue to fly, I think we're just gonna. I think we can do it, man. I think we can really get to the NFC East championship, NFC championship, and really, get to the Super Bowl. I really do. Green Bay, except for playoffs, Aaron Rodgers. Well, let's talk about Green Bay because everybody circles that game as a loss, right? As an L. Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the Green Bay Packers. Week 1, they were absolute garbage. Okay, they were garbage. They were just a dumpster fire. Okay, Week 2. Were they really good last night, Sunday Night Football against the Bears? I mean, were they really good, or were they just the beneficiary of playing against a garbage-ass Bears team? Yeah, they beat the 49ers game 1, but that was with Trey Lance in terrible field conditions. It was rainy. The whole damn stadium was flooded. So that game, I throw it out. I don't think they're beating the 49ers with Jimmy G. Correct me if I'm wrong. But Green Bay, they don't have any weapons. Their best weapon besides Aaron Rodgers, who I think is starting. I think he's going to start to decline. I think this is the start of his decline. That's just me. I'm not a A-Rod guy. I don't like him. I think he's overrated. He hasn't done anything since like 2008. I mean, let's be honest. He's terrible in the playoffs. He shits the bed every time they really need him. So I'm off Aaron Rodgers as far as him being like a top quarterback. Yeah, he gets it done still, but he ain't got no weapons. So who's he gonna be throwing it to? Cobb. You think Cobb is gonna beat us? What do you think Slay is gonna do when he sees Cobb on the other side? What do you think Bradbury's going to do when he sees Sammy Watkins? Yeah, I mean, these are his top weapons, bro. Alan Lizard. I call him Alan Lizard because I just think it's funny. Yes, I do know his name is Lazard, but I just can't stand it. So I call him Alan Lizard. He's not the worst player in the league, but he's not even a top 35 wide receiver, not even a top 40 wide receiver, so he doesn't put no fear in my heart. Their best asset is their run game, but as we've shown tonight, I think the swiftier no pun intended, running backs will give us the most issues this year. The light-footed, faster running backs will give us the more issues. Those thumpers, I think we got, some big guys up front: Jordan Davis, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Sweat, and the gang. I think those type of running backs aren't going to fare too well against us. I think we're going to end up turning it around and being one of the better run stop defenses in the league, like we have been prior years. So I just don't think that team, the Green Bay Packers, does anything for I think we're going to whoop their ass week 12, man. I really do. We have them home. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is already frustrated. He's frustrated that he doesn't have Devontae Adams anymore. Ooh, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. Keep crying on the bench and throwing iPads and throwing tantrums. I can't wait to play the Green Bay Packers week 12. Oh, I have that game circled. The Packers, in my opinion, I can't stand Aaron Rodgers and the Packers more than any other team in the league. I just can't stand them, man. I really can't. The Saints, the Giants, those are like all my least favorite squads in the league. I can't stand them. And when we beat those teams, which we're going to beat them, all of those guys this year, we're going to beat them 3 times this year. I'm gonna get revenge on those teams this year. I can't wait. Let's get back to the comments. So Bears are horrible, Johnny back, and yes, they are. Nicholas Swint, who's a Vikings fan, I believe. He said he owns Chicago every year. Exactly. I mean, it's not even a fun game. Can they stop putting Packers versus the Bears on prime time? If I have to watch that game one more time live, like I'm gonna go crazy, man. It's the same thing every year. The Bears go out there and they play solid for a quarter and then they go to shit. Aaron Rodgers, it's close and then he ends up, picking them apart. It's the same thing. The Bears suck. They're always trash. And they're owned by Aaron Rodgers. So can we stop? It's almost like they just do that for Packers fans just to give them, the satisfactory of seeing them beat the Bears every single year. I'm over it as an NFL fan who obviously I'm Eagles first, but when it comes to just watching, the primetime games, Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night games, I don't need to see that game again. Put that on a 1:00 on a Sunday and be done with it. We don't need to see that matchup anymore. And Nicholas Swint, Packers fans are annoying. Taquim Hilton, let's take it 1 week at a time. Of course. This is a post game, pod, post game reaction. So obviously I'm a little hyped, but I was a little hyped coming into the year, and some people said I was crazy. But now we're looking like the better team in the league. So power rankings, I'm going to do my official power rankings tomorrow. But as of now, we're definitely in the top 5. I'll give you a sneak peek. We're top 3. I think we're top 3. We may be number 2. I think teams that have been most impressive, maybe us and the Bills, and that's my Super Bowl pick. That's who I think is going to end up in the Super Bowl. So, we'll see. Power rankings are they're week to week, but as of right now, we're one of the top teams in the NFL, and no one can take that away from us, period. Back to the comments. Hilton wrote, "Nah, I can't stand the Cowgirls more than the Packers." Well, Cowboys, I mean, it is what it is. We play them every year. I mean, obviously, they've had our number for the past couple of years. This is Eagles Real Talk. This isn't one of those other YouTube channels that's going to, just, always say the Cowboys are this and that. They've kicked our ass the past few years. Let's be real here. This is a real talk podcast. We keep it real here, and the Cowboys have had our number, but the numbers changed this year. They're going to dial that and they're going to go straight to voicemail because we have surpassed them as far as talent. Yeah, they have Micah Parsons. Yeah, they have Lamb. Those are some good players, but is Lamb a true number 1? I don't think so. Is Parsons, gonna make a huge difference in the game and just completely ruin the game? I don't think so. I don't think so. Not this year. Not the way that Hurts is moving around the pocket, getting rid of the ball, avoiding sacks, and spreading the ball around. And with the addition of A.J. Brown, I think the Cowboys secondary is going to have a tough day at the office. DBK wrote, I agree with Hilton. Nicholas Swint just put the Dolphins versus the Patriots prime time. That would be a pretty solid prime time. I'd rather see that than the Packers versus the damn Bears. Jesus, I cannot watch that anymore. I can't watch it again. Next year, I don't care if my fantasy matchup is on the line. I am not watching that game again until Aaron Rodgers retires. I can't stand it anymore. I'm not gonna watch it. I only cheer for two teams: our Eagles and anyone that plays for the anyone that plays the Cowgirls. LOL. That's right. I mean, obviously, one of my best friends is a Cowboys fan, and man, I love bathing in his tears every year. I love, obviously, cracking jokes and sending all the memes every year. So every time the Cowgirls lose is a good day for me. Johnny wrote, not trying to be disrespectful, but the Eagles fans are hella rude. Well, you gotta be tough sometimes. You gotta put on, your big boy pants when you're going up against the Birds. We're gonna talk crap. We're going to let you know it. And, Eagles fans are tough, but let me tell you what. We are, and this is with all seriousness. This is me being completely honest. I think the Eagles fan base is the most passionate, most loyal, down fan base in sports. I've been to 2 LA versus Eagles games at the Coliseum when the Rams used to play at the Coliseum, and we took over the stadium. As I'm pulling up to the stadium, all I'm seeing is midnight green. I'm like, what is going on? And don't get me wrong, there was some Rams fans there, but the stadium was like 60 to 70% Eagles fans. We travel, we support our squad, we're ride or dies. And yeah, if a player's not doing good like Jalen Reagor, we're going to let him know you're a bum. Play better and you won't get called a bum. It is this is sports. This is the NFL. This isn't, basketball, which, you can't even touch people or even, whisper in their ears without getting a technical. This isn't baseball where there's like pretty much no contact besides, at the home plate and whatnot. This is the NFL. And if you can't be tough and you don't have that thick skin, then go sell insurance, like Jalen Reagor is going to be doing next year, because this is a hard nose. NFL is the closest thing to gladiators, man. These guys can literally die out there. I mean, we've seen dudes get paralyzed and the whole nine. So I'm going too far into it. But what I'm trying to say is, the Eagles fan base is very tough, but we're also the most passionate about our team. And I think it's going to show this year. I think you're going to see us travel. We're going to start traveling to these away games, taking over stadiums. It's going to be, it could get scary for the rest of the league, I'm telling you. Back to the comments. Jerry Jones holding on for dear life. He's an old man, I'm not really sure why he's so cheap as far as like free agency goes. You would think if you were starting to get up there in age that you would be more inclined to just, spend all those billions of dollars and trying to get a Super Bowl before you do pass away. I'm not even trying to put that like death in. I'm not even trying to put that in there, but I'm just saying he's an old man. And you would think he would be doing more financially for the Cowboys to get better, but he's cheap. He's cheap as hell, So good for us. Keep being cheap, Jerry. Keep. Oh, by the way, Jerry's good in my book, y'all. I like Jerry Jones. You want to know why? Because he gave us Devontae. He gave us Devontae. He made the trade to give us Devontae to surpass the Giants from getting him. He could be Devontae Smith could be a Giant. Do you know how depressing that man would be if he had to put on that Giants helmet every day? So Jerry Jones, you're good in my book. You're good in my book, Jerry. Appreciate you, bro. I think Jerry Jones is an Eagles fan at heart. I think he is, and that's just how I feel. Booing Jalen Rager was so disrespectful. Why? Why was it disrespectful, bro? I really did explain. Why was it disrespectful? He's trash. He didn't do anything for us. Good riddance, bruh. Like, it is what it is. You have to have tough skin out there. If you're gonna be getting hit from dudes running at you 1,000 miles per hour, you got to be able to take some booze. I'm just telling you. Speaking of booze, cheers, y'all. We're 2-0. We are 2-0 on our way to 3-0. We got the Commanders next week, which I'm gonna get more into, but I'm gonna enjoy this. I'm gonna enjoy this victory all night, all week, and then once Friday, Saturday comes around, and then I'm gonna start really getting serious about the next opponent. But right now, I'm on cloud 9, baby. Nicholas Swint, I walked in the link with my Chargers gear and thought Raiders fans were worse. Well, I have, like I spoke on one of my best friends who's a Cowboys fan. We were planning on maybe going on, I think, October 16th to the Eagles versus Cowboys game at the link, and he said, "Hey man, if we go to the game, you gotta have my back. You can't let the Eagles fans mess with me, bro." So this is known around the way that Eagles fans, once you step into the Eagles nest, bro, you're in foreign territory, and we're gonna swoop down on that ass. You better be careful. Obviously, I'm against the violence and people hurting other people. That's overboard. I don't even want to paint that picture of myself, or that's what I like. That type of shit is way overboard. So I think that type of stuff don't have no place in any stadium, any sport. But trash talk, I'm gonna be honest, I can talk my fair share of shit. So it just comes with being a fan, and Eagles fans, we're just a little more tough than others. But besides that, you got to talk that shit. It is what it is. Johnny wrote, bro could not help that he got injured. Who are we talking about? Who are we talking about that got injured? Jalen? I don't remember Jalen being hurt. He's had a pretty healthy career. His feelings are hurt, maybe. But besides his feelings being hurt, I don't see him. I don't remember him being injured. Almost as funny as when we threw snowballs at Santa Claus. I don't condone hurting old Saint Nick, for the record, but that is kind of funny. Let's be honest. DBK wrote, yes, I'm gonna enjoy this win as well. We all are. Oh, we're gonna bask. We're gonna bask in this W all week, because man, whenever you win on a Monday night, man, that Tuesday, that work week, whatever you got going on this week just seems better. Whether you love your job, you hate your job, you're just having you're going through shit in your personal life, which we all are. Even myself, it's been a rough couple days, rough couple weeks actually. But you know what? Games like this really lift up my spirits, and I'm definitely gonna be in a better mood waking up tomorrow, because man, it's always good when you win on prime time, when the lights are brightest. Nicholas Swint. After we beat y'all last year, I was at Infinity Live. Well, that's good for you, man. I mean, as well as you should be, But guess what? Enough of that, because that was last year. This is this year, bruh. This is this year, and I guarantee you, we gonna be turning up in that bar this year, and all of Philly is gonna be lit. Trust me, because we're gonna have the best team
maybe in the NFL. Who knows? Why Rager get booed like that, man? Khaled wrote. Well, he got booed like that because he sucks. And he was a big disappointment as far as being an Eagle. So the fans, they got the opportunity to let him know tonight as a Viking that, hey, we don't rock with you no more. We put up with with the weak play. Sorry, my mic got unplugged again. We put up with you, last year, and it is what it is. But now it's time. It's time to let you know that
Boo! You're a bum. You're a bum. I wish I was at the stadium tonight too to boo with the rest of the crowd. DBK, is that a what is that emoji? Is that a dab emoji? Is that what I see? DBK, is that a new emoji? Like, did that come in the new software update for Apple? If so, I'm gonna be dropping that a lot. That's hilarious. Khaled wrote, huge disappointment. I agree. Yeah, he was just a disappointment. All jokes and boos aside, boos once again, boo. All jokes aside, he was terrible as an Eagle. He was. He's probably the biggest disappointment in Eagles history as far as like draft wise. He was really bad. Nicholas, when I'm actually going to be at the Lakers game in Philly, I'm a big Lakers fan and I'm going in full force in my Lakers jersey. Now, Nick, that's something I actually do condone, but is because as big as an Eagles fan as I am, and I would put myself in the top category as elite Eagles fans. I ride and die for this squad. I do the same for the Lakers. I've been a Lakers fan my entire life, and Kobe he's my favorite athlete of all time. Man, miss that man. Miss Kobe. Got the chance to meet him. Great guy. Miss Kobe. R.I.P. to the Mamba and Gianna as well. Sad, but yeah, definitely a Lakers fan. So, with that said, go Lakers. But this is an Eagles podcast. Enough with the Lakers right now. They were a disappointment last year, too. They were trash, just like Jalen Reagor. So I don't even want to talk about the Lakers, to be totally honest with you. I'm flying too high tonight. Don't bring me down. Don't bring me down by talking about them again, okay? Please. Reagor should go to the AFC. Laugh out loud. Might do better, but I highly doubt it. I mean, how is he going to do better in the AFC? At this point, it's the Canadian League, bro. It really is. It's really like it's either selling car insurance or really like going to like seriously the Canadian League, the Arena Football League, whatever. Like he's just not good. He's just not. Listen, some guys. And if you go back and look at previous drafts, they're great college players, but as soon as they enter the NFL, they just don't have it. Sometimes it just doesn't translate. Whether life gets in the way, they let the money get to their head, the coaches don't scheme it up right for them. Whatever the case is, some guys just don't have it, and Reagor's one of those guys. Reagor was rocking that goofy choker chain. I'm gonna be honest with you. Let's talk about jewelry. I'm kind of sick of like all like rappers and athletes like wearing like a whole bunch of jewelry where like you can't even tell like what the charms look like because they're stacking on top of each other. Like think like what rapper comes to instant Little Baby. Like he looks kind of like it's kind of cringe. Like sometimes these dudes' jewelry like be cringe. I just remember back in it, like okay, now for instance, Jalen Hurts. He rocks the hoop earring like MJ, okay, which just it just gives off excellence, okay. It just reminds me of MJ every time I see the hoop earring, and then he rocks the Cuban link gold thick chain. It's classy. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm trying to stunt. I'm trying to, be someone I'm not. Like these athletes think they're rappers, and rappers don't even know what they think anymore. They're just it's corny and cringe to me personally. And especially because a lot of jewelry that these dudes be wearing be like not even real diamonds. But that's another story in itself. Let's get back to the comments. So happy the way offense played, very balanced. Khaled wrote, I agree with you, my guy. Very balanced. That's what you like to see. You like to see the ball spread around. As much as week 1 and AJ Jefferson just wrecking shop all game long. And I also gave him a new nickname. He's Optimus Prime. We've had Megatron, right? But now AJ Brown, he's Optimus Prime, okay? That man is he's a machine out there, man. He's just a machine. He could have easily had the same game that he did last year, but respectfully, they looked at, the target share, and they had to get Devontae more involved. They couldn't let what happened last week happen. We had to get Goddard a little bit more involved. I think this game called for a tight end to step up a little bit more. So I thought the balance was perfect. The defense took care of business. Just a well-fought game by the Eagles. I mean, I can't really think of, besides that drop by Kenny Gainwell, which I'm still upset about. Like, how do you drop that? Like, he's supposed to be our pass catching back, and he dropped it. Like, come on, bro. You need to get your shit together. You can't be dropping the ball like that. Literally dropping the ball, and it was an interception. So, and it was in the fourth quarter. We were looking to put the game away, run out most of the clock, and it's just unfortunate that he dropped it. But regardless, his ass needs to be at the jug machine an hour before practice and an hour after practice for that. And then he needs to hit 200 push-ups. Like he needs to. I can't stand drops like that. Those type of things just irk me. So yeah, DBK, well balanced. That, and he also agreed. Yep, that drop ball on that play. It was like, just come on, man, come on. You got to be sure-handed if you're gonna get snaps. If you're gonna get in the game over Sanders, over Boston Scott, you can't be dropping the ball. You got to be Kenny G out there playing beautiful music. You know what I mean? Just hitting on all cylinders. And today I was disappointed. That was the one player I was disappointed in tonight. Getting paid too much to drop that, exactly, in 2 yards. He didn't really have a good game. Let's be honest. Let's look at he had 2 carries for 7 yards. Okay, so like I said, Kenny Gainwell didn't show me much. Boston Scott, 4 carries for 19 yards. He had 1 long run for 16 yards, which was a really nice run. But besides that, I thought we had 34 attempts, including Jalen Hurts runs. 34 attempts, 163 yards, 2 touchdowns for the rushing attack of the Eagles. That's taking care of business, all right? That is taking care of business. DBK, the penalties was ridiculous. I talked about that at the very beginning of the video. We're now 81 minutes in. So let's go back to the penalties. What's going on with this offensive line? No, like seriously, what's going on? Like, do they need to reread the handbook of the rules? Do the coaches need to get on their ass about the basics? Like, what's going on with these penalties? Like, it's too many. I think they had 5 or 6 penalties just on the offensive line alone. That's ridiculous from what I consider the best offensive line in the game. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're not the best offensive line. Maybe they can be, but maybe right now they're not because they're not disciplined. A big part of being the best at anything, and that's whether you're playing tetherball or you're on the offensive line, whatever, business, whatever in life, it's being disciplined. I can speak for myself. Whenever I'm disciplined when it comes to my job, I'm very good at what I do. I'm very good. I'm killing it that week in sales. I'm doing what I got to do. But when I'm not disciplined, that's when I kind of drop the ball a little bit. Maybe my numbers aren't as great that month or whatever. So it's the same thing for football. They need to get more discipline. And this is where I need Nick Sirianni. He's a leader of men. This is where he needs to, he needs to put on, that disciplinarian, side of him a little bit higher than the fun-go-lucky side of him, and he really needs to get on their ass because those penalties cost us a lot of first downs tonight. It was very frustrating, and thank God that the offense was hitting on all cylinders. Besides that, because we can't have those penalties going forward. That penalty on Smith was a BS call. I agree with you. That was only one. We had a couple BS calls on us, obviously. But that's. I mean, we're the Eagles, man. We could be at home, we could be away, we could be in London, and we're still gonna get trash calls. I mean, it just kind of comes with the territory. Refs don't really do us any favors. They may not cheat, quote unquote. They may not cheat for other teams to get ahead, but they're definitely not gonna do the birds no damn favors. That is a fact. That is a fact. But that is going to do it for me today. We went 84 minutes long. What a day. What a day. I won both of my fantasy leagues. Oh, real quick, Khaled, I didn't see Nakobe Dean. Neither did I. Why is he getting any snaps? To me, he's a gamer. Is it that he's in practice, he's not doing great? I mean, whatever the case is, he was a dog last year, literally a bulldog, a Georgia Bulldog on one of the best college defenses I've seen in a while. So for him to not be getting snaps, at least 10 to 20 snaps a game, it's disappointing, but it's the season's still young. So we have to ride that one out. But getting back to the pod, man, I appreciate all of you guys. We got a lot of interaction in the comment section today. I love to, interact with you. That's one of the best parts about, doing these lives. And I had a great time watching the game, and for the most part, it looks like you guys did as well. So DBK, all right, bro, you have a good one. I'm out. From Hawaii, aloha. Hey, appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. That's a long ways away, so I really appreciate you tuning in. I've been to Hawaii once. It's a really, really beautiful place. Looking to go back soon. But with that said, you already know what it is. Fly, Eagles, fly. I'm going to play our fight song tonight before I go to bed. You know what I mean? I hope you guys do too. If it's not too late, you don't have to work tomorrow. Have yourself a brew or so. Take a shot. DBK, fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. Go Birds, baby. I'm Bri with Eagles Real Talk. If you're new to the channel, even if you're not even an Eagles fan, hit that subscribe button, man. I'm going to be talking more NFL, not just the Birds the rest of the way. So I would love for you to get down with ERT, because regardless of what's going on, who the Eagles play, or if I'm talking about other teams around the league, just like the name says, real talk is what you're going to get from me every single time. I'm never going to be, one of those foo-foo, poo-poo ass, Eagles or NFL people that talk about sports. So get down with ERT. I'm out of here. I'm going to celebrate a little bit more tonight and then get some sleep. And I'll be talking with you guys tomorrow. Have a good night, and make sure to hit that like and subscribe button like I said. Catch y'all out. Peace.